Could you use a quick tip daily? How about a tip that can impact your day? My name is Rafael. Join me as I bring you tips by experts around the world. These experts have shared their knowledge and wisdom with me and will directly share them with you. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment, and I would love for you to become part of the New Tip Daily community. Good morning, Raquel. Welcome to New Tip Daily. How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm caffeinated. I'm ready to go.
I love it, caffeinated. You're talking to a Colombian, so I know exactly what that means. What a beautiful day to be alive, right?
It is. It is. And we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things about how to be a task animal because two things as entrepreneurs that we want, right? Either everything's about time or money. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, we just like to open up some time in order for us to enjoy our life. Because what's the point of just, waking up and going into these routines every day? We're waking up, we go to work, we come back, we we take a shower, we eat something, we watch a little Netflix, we go to bed and repeat.
Right.
It's like, let's start to create some space so we can really enjoy life with those that we love.
I love the repeat, but let's not forget to rinse, right?
Yes, especially the rinsing.
The rinsing is part of the cleansing of the restarting. But so many people do live that squirrel life. It's just running on the wheel consistently. Maybe you get hungry, you get off, get back on the wheel. So, how do we learn to truly navigate that wheel? Maybe get on a bigger wheel, get on a colorful wheel, an enjoyable wheel, with a disco wheel, even. So, how do we navigate that as a taskmaster yourself?
Well, it's very simple. And when you hear it, you're just like, well, duh. But really, it all comes down to first making a decision, looking at your life and understanding a little bit about like the neuroscience, what's happening in your brain. Sometimes we don't even recognize it. This is why people will go through the hamster wheel, and we call it the midlife crisis, because all of a sudden you wake up in your 40s or your 50s and you're like, wait, what? What's going on? I've been doing this, in and out. And it's just been going on and on. And how did I not notice? How did I get here? How did my life
Mm,
become this? And so at any time, and it doesn't matter if you're in I'm in my 50s, you could be in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s. We have so many entrepreneurs, right? Like KFC, and they got started after, yeah, KFC. They got started when he was older, and now I can't remember her name, but she made like bridal dresses, and she didn't start until her 50s. So
mm,
even if you're older, you're just you actually have more wisdom. It's still, it doesn't mean that your life is going to be over. But if you're younger, this is great if you're watching, because it all comes down to a decision. And when we're deciding, we have to just make a decision to audit what is happening in my life, and do I want more of this?
mm,
Now, some of us, we like, because of the way our pace of life might be, we like the routine. Everybody likes routines, whether we say we're like, oh, we like adventure, but we do like routine, and we like it because our brain loves it. And so the things that are happening right now, they're just automatic decisions. And so this is where you can pause and just take a few minutes. So you just put the timer on for 5 minutes and audit your life. What am I doing every day? Do I
mm.
want to continue to do it? I mean, we're recording this in December of 2024. And so for those of you who are watching outside of time, we're starting already to think about 2025, January, New Year's resolutions. And
Mhm.
instead of doing New Year's resolutions, make a New Year decision. Make one or two decisions, and don't do a lot. That's why people
Mhm.
don't end up doing it, because you're trying to do too much. And so just pick one thing, audit your life for 5 minutes right now. And you might look at it and we're like, wow, this sucks. It's okay. It's okay, because you're here at the right time. You can make adjustments. And first, because that's the way our brain works. It loves routine. It loves repetition. So you can look to see what are you constantly repeating? What is the repetition in your life? Whether it's activities that you're doing or thoughts that you're having. And then, like a scientist, right? So there's no condemnation. You're not picking at yourself. You're not calling yourself names. You're not being self-deprecating. You're just looking at it like a scientist, stepping back, like, oh, well, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to change? And there's a really great quote by Cindy Trim. It goes something like, what if the reason the way things are right now is because of the way you are? And what is the one thing that you can change today that would change everything? And this is it. Doing a 5-minute audit of your life, looking at your activities, your constant thoughts, right? Just put on the timer. And then when the timer goes off, stop. And then just review it like a scientist and make one decision. That's it. That's all you have to do. Because when you make that decision, then you can say, okay, I'm going to be faithful to this commitment. I'm going to commit to myself
Right.
with one decision. And then that becomes your filter. And what happens is that then your beautiful brain goes to work like, oh, is this our filter? Then your
Mm-hmm.
reticular activating system starts working for you in conjunction with your confirmation bias. You do something small every single day. I call it the 1% model. 1% is 15 minutes or less in your day. And what happens is we understand the compound interest with money, find
Mm-hmm.
like a compound interest in your life because you're investing in yourself through the filter of that one decision. And that's how things start getting easier because then you'll be able to say, okay, based on this decision, then let my yes be yes, my no be no. And if it's not going to empower and create that lifestyle that I've decided or that changed in my life, then maybe some people are like, I don't like to be told no. And then try the, then it's not yet. I always say not yet to this other thing because it's not giving me the result of what I want over here, the decision that I made. It's really that simple, but it's not easy to do because we have our routines. We have, our automatic decisions that we're making from our brain 95% of the time. So that's why it's good for you to, I mean, you can do what you want because you're grown, and figure out what your personality gift cluster is and then leverage that.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that you're putting post-its everywhere about your decision. Doesn't mean you're putting it on your phone. Are you giving yourself reminders to pause and give yourself that 1%? Putting it in your calendar. Whatever that means for you, leveraging how you're wired to succeed through the filter of that decision. And you'll see how much easier and how much flow you'll be having in your life because of it.
Yeah, love it, love it. 1%, 15 minutes. That's not a lot. That's not
Actually,
asking a lot.
no, it's
Do you know how many
14 minutes and
people?
40 seconds.
Do you know how many hours people waste on social media? Do you know how many people waste watching television um, with nonsense? And yet, this is the best excuse I hear all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Hmm.
Really? Let me see your phone. Let me see how much time you've actually spent on social media, and you tell me you have no time
There's
to
a stat on
impact
that.
your life. Yeah.
The statistics is 140 minutes a day.
Mm.
So if it's 140 minutes a day that you're on social media, what if you tie that back to yourself? Tie this 10%. So instead of saying, well, I'm so tired, well, you're on social
Mm.
media. So why don't you feed yourself your own tithe back into your own life because you're good ground. Bring it
Mm.
back to yourself. Gift yourself a tithe of time. And
Mhm.
there's your 14 minutes. And you actually don't have to do the whole 14 minutes. You can do even half of that, which is why when people are like, oh my gosh, that's 15 minutes. But if you rephrase it, because words have power, 1%, well, then 1% doesn't sound so much, does it? You're like, oh, I can do 1%.
Yeah. It's a small ask, but the question that I always tell people or ask people, are you willing to do it? Will you do it? And then they lie to me. And
Right.
then they
Because
say,
yeah.
yes, I'm willing to do it. And I go, great. And then a couple of days go by. I go, how's it going? Have you done it? Well, I did it the first day. Well, I did it, out of 7 days, I did it 2 or 3. I'm like, okay, at least you did it. I said, now can you try to make it 4? Can you make it 5? And when we ask someone to do something, sometimes the reason we have resistance is because it wasn't their idea.
Mhm.
But once we can ask them, what is it that they need to do to change their life? Well, we have to actually listen to what they have to say, and then maybe the suggestion will hit home. And that's for anybody listening now. Raquel is giving you incredible advice. 1% of your day. 14.40 seconds, right? But the question truly comes down to you answering it. Am I willing to do what Raquel is telling me to do?
And this is the thing too. We don't want you to have condemnation, because when you have the awareness is grace. And what does the good book tell us? You are willing, but your flesh is weak. And so this is what's happening in your brain. What happens is that, yes, you can be willing in the moment, but there is a perfect equation. You will prosper and be in health as your soul prospers, which is your mind, your will, and your emotions. Your will is a director. You can will yourself in the moment. That's why people will say yes to you, Sifu, because they mean it in the moment. But what happens is that the mind comes first. Every 10 seconds, your brain is checking in with the voice of your mind, which is the voice of your mindset. And so this is why if you're doing the 1% every single day for your mindset, you'll be able to strengthen your will. So when you say it, you'll be able to mean it. But you might mean it in the moment. And people usually fall off around 3 days, 3 to 5 days
Oh,
of doing something
big time.
consistently. And so what's happening in your brain is that you are willing yourself to do something. And so you can stick to it for about 3 days. And then your brain's like, oh, wait, this is going to take too much quantum energy. I'm going to give you a lot of excuses of why. I'll offer you some thoughts, and let's get distracted. And this is when you have to use your will. It's just really not will yourself to do the activity, but will yourself to, when you get that thought, again, going back to the decision, if the thought is not empowering that decision you made, then the answer is no, or not yet, or I'm going to continue doing this. It's just, again, making those choices, because if you want to make more money, they're like, oh, serve more people. But how are you serving them? Through solutions. It's the decisions that you're making. That's how you get paid.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's
whether
exactly how you get
you're an
paid.
entrepreneur, or maybe you work in corporate. When I used to work in corporate, I always got like, yeah, you get paid because of the decisions you make. Nobody thinks the way you do. The way you think, the way your brain is constructed is like a fingerprint. It's actually unique to you. So that's why there's no such thing as normal, because what's normal? Nobody's normal. Everybody's literally different. And so when you're thinking about these things of like, okay, I've been trying to, yes, this is why you can't also force yourself over a long period of time. Using your will only works sporadically in the moment. It doesn't work as a complete strategy because of the way your brain works, but you can hack your brain through doing something every single day, a little bit. What happens after 21 days? It's not a habit. It's momentum. After 21 days, your brain is now creating all those thoughts, all those actions as part of your long-term memory. So as the things come up, that's why your brain would then go ahead and offer you thoughts that are helpful. Not all thoughts are helpful. No thought is innocent. It's actually going to move you toward or away from what you're saying that you want. So in the moment, can you will yourself to do something? Yes, but that's not sustainable, because it's not meant to be. It's meant to just come in, be the boss, get some direction going, and then lay back again.
That's
So your
it.
will is your boss, but your mind is running everything. So if you do it the way you're wired to succeed, you'll find flow and ease in everything that you're doing, because you are investing in the best place that you can invest in, which is yourself. It'll make everything easier. And then your emotions will take care of itself, because your emotions are rooted in thought. So you can even hack your emotions. If people
Mm,
are talking a lot about emotional regulation right now because of the stress, the mental stress that people are under, but all of that, really, the foundation of that is your thoughts. So if you can start to control your thoughts more often, you will find that the mental anguish will also start to die off.
mm. I love how you say take 5 minutes and write down um, what you want to accomplish, or even what you have accomplished. What do you want in your life, right? Um, and it's 5 minutes, and then set yourself up for that 1% uh, goal setting or action steps or so forth, in order to achieve what you're looking for, to become the person that you want to be. Not saying that the person you are now is a terrible person. More like, and this is why I say this every day. When someone asks me how am I doing, I say exceptional and getting better every day. And the reason I say that is because I take those actions every day to improve, so that I can become better. I can't become the person I want to be a year from now if I don't take those tiny little steps, that 1%. Maybe for me, sometimes it's a 1/4%, right? But I am making those changes. I am adding on, right? Um, and sometimes, in order to add, you have to remove, right? It's just like when you say yes to something, you had to say no to something else, and vice versa. So if we learn to say no more often, then we can be more selective to our yeses, right? So
100%.
I love how you're giving everybody a guide to become that task animal, to handle and tackle anything. And an old saying that I don't want anybody who loves animals to come at me, but it's, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time, right? You can't eat a
Mhm.
whole elephant at once. And please don't go eating elephants, people. It's just to say, right?
Yes. And that's the thing. It's like, sometimes, especially if you're a boss and you're like, my people, my staff members are not motivated. That's not true. Everyone is motivated, but they're not motivated the way you're motivated. And so it's understanding the personality gift clusters. So when I worked in corporate, my last job, I was had the opportunity to really do a lot of things, but it was because of the way I was handling my staff. They had different personalities, different personality gift clusters.
Mm,
So what I noticed is, like, I started to study them. And so one person, she was really motivated by money and time off, because she was a salt of the earth, and she wanted to spend more time with family and friends, and she just wanted to be away. So when I would create things and challenges, I was like, oh, for you, you're gonna have money. Everybody's gonna get money because everybody likes money.
right, right, without a
but,
doubt.
but for when I would work with her specifically, it was also some time off. I have another one where she just really loved going into her silo, and she was exceptional at what she did, but she
Mm,
really boxed herself in. But she just really was an expert in what she was doing, and so to motivate her, right? So I just made sure she got more of that, actually, because she loved it, and so I would add a little bit more what she was already doing. And so I was like, wow, more work was actually more motivating to her. Yes, because she really loved being the expert, being the queen at what she did, and
mm,
everybody knew it. So it was an opportunity for her to have status and for her to do what that she really, really loves. So
yes.
really watching people, because everybody is motivated. And if you are a natural born leader, you have that internal mechanism where you are internally motivated, and so are critical thinkers. They're very internally motivated. But if you're working with people who are salts of the earth, or they're like, more influencer creative types, they are externally motivated. So, making it fun for them is
Mm.
very, very important. And if somebody who's internally motivated is like, just do your job.
Yeah.
You don't have to have fun, right?
Mm.
But if you are running a team, then you need to look at their personalities because we want the most out of them. And to get the
Mm.
most, I mean, I had my employees, like I had to force them to have time off. They would work all the time. And I was like, no. And I was like, and I'll
Time to
be
take
screaming
off.
at them.
Yeah.
I would scream at them. I was like, why are you on? I can see the light on. I'm checking my email. I told you not to. We are here to cover you. And so, how
Mm.
did I get people who love to work for me, even on their time off? Is because I motivated them in their motivations.
Mm.
I saw them, and because I was able to connect with them in that way, they felt seen and heard and protected. And then I got so much out of them to the point where when they were laying off in other departments, our people never got laid off. Other
Mm.
people didn't get raises in their departments. My people did. Why? Because I had set the environment where I was motivating them based on how they are specifically motivated and particularly motivated, even if it wasn't mine, which
Right.
also meant that I had to understand what I can give them and not give them. And it made everybody look like a superstar.
Mm.
So understanding how the people around you actually are motivated, it could be completely opposite the way you are, and being okay with that. That is how they're wired to succeed. And when we are connecting with people, right, everything you want is in the gift of someone else. That's how you can have thriving relationships and a thriving and working environment, whether you're in corporate or you're running your own business.
Mm. That's so incredible when you get to know who's on your team, because it truly highlights you as a leader, but it also brings to them the idea that someone truly cares. Someone sees them. Because so many people work in an environment where they're not seen. They're almost invisible. They're just, you know, Joe in the mailing room or Sue in accounting is going to handle the, but they don't see them as a human being, as a person who has ambitions, has desires, and even needs time off or doesn't want time off because the mission, the project is what drives them. That what make it's their happy place. Right? So that's an incredible aspect for you as a leader. And anybody listening who is a leader and maybe doesn't do that, it's time to. It's time to.
Mhm.
Raquel, I got to tell you, this has been truly, truly a blessing. Every time I get to speak with you or you're on one of my shows, I am beside myself. I'm patting myself on the back because I got you to come on the show. So thank you so much. Tell us, we have a minute or two before we have to log off. Tell us how people can reach you. I know your email, your website is going across. Tell us how they can reach you and how they can benefit from reaching out to you.
Yes, you can benefit immediately by going to your GPS for success.net. And when you go there, I would like you to scroll down to the task animal package. And for being here today, your coupon code is Sifu. You will receive that for free.
That
So that's my complimentary gift to you. So that way you can see what is it, because you think you have certain motivations, like that really motivates me. But if it was, then you would be on track, or the people around you would. So this is a really great package for you. It's got a workbook and all kinds of things to really allow you to tap into your inner genius and be able to stay in your zone of genius and also activate in the people around you. This works in everything, whether you're a corporate, an entrepreneur, you're a mom and dad. I do this with my children.
mm,
They're so like, you're
nice.
the best mom ever. And I'm like, yeah, because I know how to motivate you and you're happy to do it. So
Exactly.
this will work in your relationships, all your relationships. It's not just about tasks, it's really understanding your own personality gift clusters, those who are around you, and then creating those driving relationships because everything is juicier when that is. So I would
Mm.
love for you to go ahead and grab that at your gpsforsuccess.net. Again, just scroll down, look for Task Animal, use the code SIFU when you are checking out to get as my gift to you for being here today.
Look at that. I become part of the prize. Look at that. Incredible. Thank you so much for being such an exceptional human being. And if you don't follow her, my gosh, you need to. Go to her website, connect with her, and go ahead and grab that. Remember, code word me, Sifu. Everybody, have yourself an exceptional day. Raquel, what an honor, and thank you for shining your bright light on us today. Really appreciate
Thank
you.
you. It was, as always, it's always fun when I'm hanging out with you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Can't wait to see you in person. It's going to happen. I know it.
Yes.
All right, everybody, have yourself a beautiful Friday, and happy Friday, everybody. And we'll
Happy
see
Friday.
you next time. And don't forget, at 11 a.m. today, Business Prowess with Dr. Andrea. All right, everybody, have a beautiful one. Take care.
Bye.